Welcome aboard the Ear to There podcast, the podcast that'll help you vacation like a pro in any Disney destination. For those of you standing, please sit down and hold on throughout our journey and get ready to learn how to have the time of your life. And now, here's your host, Phil Gramlich.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ear to There podcast. I am your host, Phil Gramlich. I am also the owner and operator of Ear to There Travel, a Disney-specialized travel agency. It is my job to take away all that stress, all of that anxiety, and all the time that it takes to plan a Disney trip so you can focus on the really fun parts like having a great time with your family and friends and enjoying the magic. And please be sure to keep in mind that I do all of that for free. So from booking your resort hotel to dining to fast passes to tours to transportation, really anything you could think of, I book everything at absolutely no cost to you. You can find this podcast, my blog, or request a free, no-obligation quote over at eartotheretravel.com. Oh, and also look for me on Facebook Live every Thursday, well, hopefully every Thursday if my kids don't get sick, at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Watch live, we'll chat, we'll talk about all kinds of Disney news and really anything that comes up. So that's Facebook Live on Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. And that's over on my Facebook page at facebook.com/eartotherphil. This is episode number 68 for the week of May 8th. I'm so happy it's May. My God. For May 8th, 2017. So grab a drink, grab a snack, and as a famous mouse once said, on with the show. So we talk about the food and the dining locations an awful lot on this show. The food is such a big part of any Walt Disney World vacation these days that you absolutely can't talk Disney without talking food. But I think most often we talk about the table service restaurants and those big, the big sit-down meal where there's characters or it's a really unique experience like Be Our Guest or Ohana or something like that. But this week I wanted to talk a little bit about the counter service locations. While a lot of counter service places in Walt Disney World offer the standard cheeseburgers or chicken nuggets, most of them have a huge variety of different foods. There are vegan options, there are vegetarian options, and of course there are steaks. Yes, steaks. I said steaks on the counter service menus. By the way, if you're looking for a counter service steak, head over to Liberty Inn in Epcot's American Pavilion, the good old US of A, and you will find a steak on the counter service menu, and it's actually really good, so go check it out. Anyway, back to the intro of the show. This episode is all about our favorite counter service locations in Walt Disney World. Now notice I didn't say the best or the top, because my guest today is kind of an odd man, and I mean that as lovingly as possible. So I don't know why I asked this guy back to do another podcast about food with me, honestly. He is a great guy, but he doesn't eat cheese or peanut butter, which eliminates like half of what I eat on a daily basis. But so this should be an interesting episode. Mr. Chuck Rodriguez, welcome back to the show.
Yes, thank you, Phil. And luckily, my hatred for cheese and peanut butter does not limit the food establishments that I can go to at Walt Disney World, so it's fine.
Well, that's good, I think. For any parent who's listening with a peanut allergy, at least they know that they may run into Chuck at a restaurant because he will be avoiding anywhere that serves peanuts or peanut butter. Yeah, I still can't get past the cheese thing for you. I never will. I'm never getting past that in my life.
And let me tell you, I mean, I have tried. It's not like I'm like, no, I'm never going to try anything. I've tried many different concoctions with cheeses and different formats, and I just don't like 98% of them.
Is it the consistency or is it the flavor of it?
No, I really think it's the flavor.
It's interesting.
And the smell. Ugh.
Meanwhile, there are people listening right now who absolutely live on cheese. I love cheese. I'll eat.
Yeah, no, I get the popularity.
Oh, you know what?
I get it.
One thing that I won't eat though is blue cheese. Is that actually cheese, or is that?
Isn't it just mold?
Yeah, I don't eat that.
That's gross.
That's crazy talk right there. I know a lot of people like it, and it's like the Cobb salad thing, and It's at
and it always comes with the wings, the blue cheese dressing with wings.
Oh yeah, if they put
with the celery,
I have to get rid of that right away. No thanks.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Ugh.
That or the blue cheese crumbles. I just can't do it. I don't know.
Nope.
Keep that far away from me. All right. And at least we agree on one thing. Look at that. We're getting along right at the start. That's pretty good.
And this will be a great segue to the first one if I get to go first.
Well, then you get to go first. So why don't you start? But what I was going to say is Disney has like 1,000 counter service restaurants. I mean, probably not, but it feels like that. It feels like I didn't do enough research off the top of the show to get the number down. Do you know the number? I think it's well over 200.
Oh, it has to be.
But yeah, so there's a ton of options. There's just actually it's overwhelming if you either haven't been there for a while or if it's your first trip. So I wanted to do a show where we could kind of narrow it down for people who haven't been to a ton of these locations. So blue cheese, Chuck, go. You're up first.
Right. So this is really great that you actually started the conversation with cheese, because I was going to make a comment on my first one because I just so happened to finally have gone to it. It is Disney World's newest fast food quick service location until, of course, the one in Pandora that is opening, which I don't get to see for 11 days from today that we're recording this.
Boo-hoo.
And that is boo-hoo. I know.
Most people don't get to see it for like a year. Come on.
Well, then they should move to Orlando like I did 15 years ago. But anyway, so it's actually the Rizzo's. I don't know the official name, but the Rizzo's restaurant in the Muppet Courtyard of the studios. Yes. So, of course, I didn't even get excited about this because it only serves pizzas and salads with Parmesan cheese on it. But pizzas I can usually do if there's a lot of toppings and there's really not that much cheese on it. So my family wanted to go, and I went with them. And there's a few things about it that I really loved. First of all, the space where you go to wait online, it's huge. It's completely open, very comfortable. Not like other places where you wind up, going through like a weird queue, and it's kind of uncomfortable to figure out which register you go to next, and the left side and the right side. My suspicion is that they've actually designed it with something in mind for so like the new advancements in how you can order food on your app and just go pick it up.
Online ordering, yeah.
Yes, I have a feeling that because it's the last one, I think they built it on purpose because it'll get ready for, physically whatever the quick service location has to look like for these new things. And then the rest of the restaurant, especially upstairs, the room that's supposed to be like a room that you rent for weddings at like a cheesy Italian restaurant, that blew me away. I absolutely loved it. It had disco lights and music from the 70s and 80s playing with a disco ball shining. I was in seventh heaven. We were up there for like an hour and a half. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Have you been?
I walked through. I didn't actually eat the food on my last trip. I didn't get
okay.
We kind of just walked through to check it out. So, my kids don't eat. Jack will eat pizza. The girls won't. So it was kind of like, all right, we usually go to a different location, which I will mention in a little bit. But
okay.
Yeah, I've only seen it. And yeah, I think you're right. The theming is awesome. They did a great job with that. You know me, and I know you love the Muppets, so having that,
I do.
That whole time.
And the references alone to Muppets Take Manhattan, I know I'm not the only person of my generation that saw Muppets Take Manhattan 450 times and cried like a baby when Miss Piggy and Kermit, finally got married at the end. And the references to Muppets Take Manhattan and other things, it's really, really clever and very well done. Very well done.
Now I'm thinking, somebody's getting married.
Yes, somebody.
What a great movie that is. So underrated, Muppets Take Manhattan. It's what? It's funny, like, because I know the great Muppet Caper, which that's kind of lame, but the Muppet movie is the biggest one. And then the revival Muppet movies, like, what's it called? Just The Muppets was the
Muppets, yeah.
And then Muppets Most Wanted, which was good. But, I mean, man, those movies are so good. It's a shame the show kind of flamed out. I liked it. I was one of the people that really
enjoyed it, too. I thought it was actually too adultish, to be honest.
But that's how the Muppets were when they first started.
No, it's true. I guess I had forgotten that.
But over the years, yeah, they kind of went to a more, like, kid-centric with The Muppet Wizard of Oz and Treasure Island and Muppets in Space and all that stuff. Listen, we have all those on DVD. My kids love
I'm sure you do.
Amy and I are such throwback, like, with our kids. I worry that they're going to, like, go to school and mention what they watch, and the kids are going to be like, "What are you talking about?" Like all the stuff they watch is like stuff from my childhood. It's funny, but yeah, that's a great pick, man, to start us off. Even though the oddest thing, you don't eat cheese, but the first thing you talk about is a pizza place. So
well, because again, there are certain pizzas on property. In fact, out of the sit-down restaurants, one of my favorite is Via Napoli. The pizza they make there, I think, is incredible. If I order it with a lot of toppings. So
you gotta bury it.
Sometimes
with,
okay.
Yeah, you gotta bury it with all the Italian toppings. Their pizza's amazing. I love that place too.
Oh,
but that is a table service. That's why it's not.
Yeah, that was for a different podcast, which I think we've already covered at some point.
Yeah, and if we haven't, we will. It'll happen in the future. All right, so I'm not gonna. I'm trying to think. All right, I'm gonna give you one of my favorites right off the bat instead of staying in Hollywood Studios.
The same park, right?
Yeah, I want to go to one that I think my kids, my wife and I eat at pretty much our first day in the parks every time, and that is, of course, we go to Magic Kingdom first day, on almost, if not every single trip we've taken, and it's on the left-hand side as you're walking right down the middle of Main Street, USA. Of course, it's Casey's Corner. I love Casey's Corner. Chuck is laughing because it's a hot dog place, I think. Is that why you're laughing at me?
Well, yeah, because it's more snackish, I guess. I don't know. And it's always so crowded.
I know. It is crowded. Line. You have to go in an off. You have to go in an off hour because if you try to go at noon to really like 1:30,
or at
forget
night
it.
When everyone is hanging out on Main Street, and that's the only place to get any real food for anybody who still needs salty food at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
it's a huge line. It's a huge line.
Yeah, it is. But if you can get there and the line's manageable, it's a nice place. And I like that they opened up the seating inside a couple of years ago. I know people miss the bleachers and all that stuff, but I like it. But I don't know if you know this because I didn't know until today because I haven't been there since this change was made. Did you know they have the macaroni and cheese dog there again?
I mean, no, because I could care less.
That's exactly why I have you on the show, Chuck. You really get people excited about their upcoming Disney trip.
I only care about things that I enjoy when I'm at Disney World.
So they have a macaroni and cheese dog and a footlong macaroni and cheese dog, topped with macaroni and cheese, bacon, and served with either apple slices or fries. Get out of here, apple slices. Who's gonna get?
I know. If you're gonna have that, who's gonna then ruin it with apple slices?
Yeah, like I'll have the macaroni and cheese footlong with the bacon, but you know what? I don't need all those calories with those fries. I'm on a diet here. No,
exactly.
like you know me. When I'm on vacation in Walt Disney World, I'll eat. I don't worry about it. At home, I worry about it, but But now I'm like looking at the menu, and I know people love the footlong chili cheese hot dog. But what I'm not seeing on the menu, which was a huge favorite, and it's obviously recently changed, is the barbecue slaw dog. And people love that. And I've heard from so many like clients and people who go that that's their favorite thing in Magic Kingdom. And it's not there as far as I can tell. So that's a bummer.
Yeah, I did have that a long time ago and I did enjoy it actually.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought it was, like I said, I just, opening up the official Disney menus today, I don't see it on there. So it's a bummer. I think a lot of people are listening to this right now going, what? So yeah, it's not there. But the corn dog nuggets are still there, and that's what I get. I get the corn dog nuggets. Jack and I will both get that. We sit there. You get the people watch people walking or running, really, to their favorite attractions at Magic Kingdom. Make fun of it all you want, Chuck. It's a memory for me. I love it. It's kind of etched in my brain to go to Casey's Corner every time. So, and you can get, and it's baseball themed, so you can get Cracker Jack and cotton candy and that kind of stuff there. So I like it. It's cool. So that's my first pick.
Yes. Well, I can do an entire podcast just on making fun of Casey's Corner, but we'll go ahead and move on.
Such a good sport you are. All right. Let's enlighten the listener with your next pick.
Okay, this is really quick because, and it's back at the studios, but the ABC commissary, and And it's funny because just this last weekend I was there with my family and we were making fun of the fact that we actually don't like the commissary. We always seem to wind up there if we don't get a reservation at Mama Melrose or Brown Derby or Primetime Cafe or Sci-Fi, and which is almost always because you can never get the reservation if you think of it on on the day of when we try on the day of. But we always end up at the commissary, and I know it's supposed to look like a real commissary, in a studio, and I'm sure maybe at some point the cafeterias in real Hollywood studios did look that way. And the food is okay. They've had some interesting things here and there. Like at one point they had the great burger that had like fried shrimp on it. That was awesome. Loved it. The place is kind of crowded. The area where you go online, it's not good. There's so many tables.
You're supposed to be giving a positive review of this place, right? Am I lost somewhere here?
Yes, but this is also, I can't believe you haven't thought of this already because you've known me for years. I love it because they play TV theme songs while you're eating in there. So outside, obviously, when you're walking that path, and also inside, all the posters of all the ABC shows, the clips, and the theme song. So because I love television so much and ABC shows so much, yes, I do actually end up eating there, and I sing along while I eat the bland food that's at the ABC commissary.
So your choice has nothing to do with the quote-unquote bland
in that
food.
case it did not. And I'm only putting it out there also because I wouldn't be surprised if after Star Wars Land opens, that area of the park gets a huge redo. So I doubt the ABC commissary will last much, much longer anyway.
It's funny that you mentioned that. That was always the place when, you're right, when we get to Hollywood Studios, we wouldn't have something reserved. We end up there. And it is. The food historically hasn't been great. I think there's a fish and chips on the menu is what I usually get. Being healthy, it's fish and all. and that's kind of what I go with. But the food, like I said, historically hasn't been fantastic. It is what you would I think so many Disney counter service places aren't what you would expect from a theme park. I think that the ABC commissary is. It's kind of that theme park kind of food. I know they upped it a little bit. They had what did they call it? It was like the better casual quick service or something. It was a better meal they were trying to promote recently. I don't know. I just think that place is kind of doomed. But like you said, it's fun to listen to music in a TV show. See, what's funny is that, and they used to have. Do they still have the memorabilia in the middle when you walk through? They have like the TV shows, like.
Yeah, I think there's still a few things in there in the glass cases.
Yeah, for a while they had like the Lost, like the Dharma uniforms in there, and they had like Hurley's winning lottery ticket from Lost was in there. Right. So there's some cool stuff. I like that. And that's, kind of keeping with the fact that, or the concept that it's still a working studio, which we all know is going away kind of daily. More of that stuff is getting taken out.
Correct.
Yeah, so again, I don't know. It's a great endorsement of the music, not a great endorsement of the food. So, all right, so I'm gonna stay in the same park, and actually, I'm surprised you didn't mention this one when you were talking about theme songs and music, because this has the same thing. They have all the 70s, 80s, and 90s themes, and
yes, they do
at the Backlot Express at Hollywood Studios, and the food is much better at Backlot Express, I think. They did convert their menu a bit about a year or two ago when Star Wars Land was announced, so I guess it was 2 years ago, to include some Star Wars themed entrees there. Mostly because it is right, if you sit outside, you can see Star Tours and the Jedi Trials of the Temple / Training Academy. I always forget the official name of that.
I have no idea.
If you sit outside, I know we've talked about this before on the show where again, cynical Chuck kind of bashes the Training Academy. But I love it.
I call it let's all pretend like our kids are really cute and we care show.
What's really funny is we're recording this on May the 4th. So Chuck,
oh my God, I forgot. Yes.
So Chuck, May the 4th be with you.
Yes, May the 4th be with you as well.
And and I think today's the day at Jedi Training Academy where adults can participate.
Right.
If you are, well, no, you're not listening to this. It's not live. I was going to say, if you are in Hollywood Studios today, but you're not, because this is going out next week. So, But yeah, I think I actually put on my Facebook page today that I think if you're an adult, you can get dressed up like a Jedi and go fight, Darth Vader or Kylo Ren or Darth Maul or one of those guys. But back to the food. I like the food here. They have one thing, if you have little kids, that they have around different Disney counter service, quick service places are the power packs. I don't know, Chuck, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
So it's a little box that they put like an assortment of kids' foods in, like kid-friendly food. They have, look at the list now. It's Danimals yogurt, it's a Danimals smoothie, I'm sorry. Apple wedges, carrot sticks, goldfish, apple cinnamon snack bar, and your choice of low-fat milk, chocolate milk, Dasani water, or they will substitute an apple juice for it if you ask. Listen, that's all stuff little kids eat. So if you have kids that are picky eaters like mine, always look for the power packs because the kids will eat that stuff. And it's not, but my son, Jack, loves, they also have the dark side chicken and waffles for kids over there. And it's Darth Vader shaped waffles with fried chicken that they serve with maple syrup. He loves that. He goes nuts over that. And I think I get that as well. I'll get that, or I'll get they have the Royal Guard burger, which is another Star Wars reference, obviously. Let me see, it's Angus beef topped with barbecue brisket, pepper jack cheese, lettuce, tomato, and again, served with French fries or carrot sticks if you're feeling very healthy that afternoon, and you want to go with the burger with the pulled pork on top of it. With the barbecue brisket on top of it, but you still want to be healthy. Get the carrot sticks instead of the fries. But listen, Chuck loves it because of the theme songs. We play Name That theme song in there a lot. That's a lot of fun because you hear stuff from like the 70s and 80s and you're trying to remember, even though I wasn't really alive in the 70s, just 1 year. And then we play like
it's called reruns. So that's not an excuse.
No, that's a good point. Do they still have Nick at Night? I know it's on a Disney channel, but is Nick at Night
they still
playing
have
all the old stuff?
Yeah,
that's cool. I gotta get into that. I gotta get me. I like Cheers. Like that's my old.
Yeah, but their old stuff is not old anymore. It makes me feel old because it's like I remember it when I was already starting to be an adult.
Yeah, like we were watching that stuff.
Like old is like old, like late 70s, early 80s. That would be considered old.
No, we are old. It's ridiculous how old we are now, especially you. All right, so I think we're probably not going to go back to Hollywood Studios after those two because looking at it, there's not a whole lot.
No, there's nothing left.
They closed all the other fast food or quick service places over there.
And they weren't exciting at all anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Again, people try to forget Chuck on these episodes.
The table service restaurants at the studios are the bomb.
They are very, very good. All right, Chuck, you're up for your next one.
All right, then I'm going to go with my go-to if I go to Epcot and there's no festival with the food at the booths going on and and we don't get a reservation at a table service restaurant. My go-to World Showcase quick service is Morocco. I always forget exactly what it's called. I want to say Tangerine Cafe, But I discovered this, I would say like only about 10 years ago because until my early 30s, I actually used to be one of those adults who only ate the most common, boring ethnic foods. Like I had no exciting palate whatsoever.
You were me.
Now I look down on those people. Right now I look down on those people, and I typically do actually make fun of my friends who will not go and explore restaurants around the city with different types of cuisines. But yeah, so when I go to Epcot, if I don't get a sit-down reservation, I go to Morocco, and it's really good. It's I don't know how many people really have already eaten some Moroccan foods on a regular basis, like hummus and and pita bread and stuff like that. But the lamb, which is very similar to like when you get a gyro, like at a Greek place, and it's a good deal. You get a lot of food, a big platter for about $10 or so. And they have a kids menu with like a Moroccan version of a hamburger, which is actually pretty good. So, and there's never a line, plenty of seating indoors and outdoors. So that's my go-to place with the World Showcase, quick service restaurants.
Yeah, so it is a Tangerine Cafe. I was drinking. I was drinking from my water glass and I had my microphone on mute as you were saying that, so that's why I didn't answer. You were like waiting for me to say yes, and I was like, I can't right now. But yeah, so yeah, they had the shawarma chicken platter, the shawarma lamb platter.
Yeah, that's what I usually have.
Yeah, and they're good, and they scared the pants off me still. And I've heard so many, and I'm one of those people. I'm not as adventurous as I'd like to be. I will try certain foods, like I'll try lamb, but lamb with all the other stuff mixed in. Yeah, I have to just be honest with you, it kind of freaks me out. So
I get it, but I was the same way. And then I began to realize, actually, a lot of those foods, especially the Moroccan foods, like couscous and stuff, it's a very bland thing that's different than what we are used to eating our entire lives. I mean, it's not that different than stuff that we've eaten, those of us who were not very adventurous, who ate most of our lives.
Yeah, like I've seen, I don't eat hummus. I'm one of those people. Okay,
I love hummus.
And I know, and I've been with you when you've gotten hummus, and I'm like, I can't eat that. I don't even. You're like, do you want to try it? I'm like, nah, I'm not eating that at all. Yeah, so I'm not adventurous. Listen, I'm that guy that will get the comfort food in like any situation. So, I wish I could, excuse me, I wish I could be more adventurous, but I'm just not. But I know it's a popular place for people who are a little more gutsy than I am. And you're right. They're, you know what's funny is I've been in there to have a beer and a dessert. That's when I go to the Tangerine Cafe. They have, a couple good desserts.
You have baklava?
Yeah, baklava. I've had that.
Yeah, baklava is good.
And they have the Casa beer in there, which used to be called Casablanca beer. They changed the name. I don't know why. But
well, maybe they get a trademark for the movie.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe, but it's named after a city, right? So,
well, true. I only think of the movie.
I mean, Casablanca is still a real place. Anyway, all right. So, on to my next trick, my next one, and I'm going completely predictable. You probably have heard me talk about this place a lot.
I'm sure I have.
And it's over at the Polynesian, and it's Captain Cook's.
Yes.
I love Captain Cook's. Nothing I can do about it. If you want Tonga toast for breakfast, you don't have to go to Kona Cafe. You can get it at Captain Cook's. It's a quick service place. They have one of my favorite sandwiches on Disney property, the Aloha pork sandwich, which is awesome.
It is.
It's like a pineapple bun, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
well, it's like a sweet, the pineapple bread bun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different than anything you'll have really anywhere else. And the menu kind of changes around there a lot, I feel.
Yeah, they've changed it. Well, most of the places have changed a couple items every year or so.
Yeah, I mean, they used to have the buffalo chicken and waffle sandwich that I loved. They got rid of that. They don't have that anymore. So my go-to is either the Aloha pork sandwich or the pulled pork nachos. Again, Chuck, you know me. I'm a nacho. I'm an appetizer person. I love anything that, any kind of, I could eat wings in Disney or nachos or, stuff like that all day. That's my scene. So I love that. They have pretty much something for everybody over there. I'm looking, they used to have, and I thought it was called pho forever, but it's pho. They used to have a pho dish over there, but they don't have that anymore either. Now it's more of a curry. They have a, sorry, I'm just reading the menu as I'm on there, and I just made myself laugh because it's curried seafood stew, but I don't have my glasses on, and it says served with sticky rice, but I thought it said served with stinky rice. And I was like, who is going to order the stinky rice?
So basically rice with cheese in it? Because that would be stinky.
With blue cheese in it. That's
yes, that would make it stinky.
Oh, Chuck, have you ever had their meatballs over there, though? The Thai coconut meatballs?
No, I don't think I have yet.
Those are really, really awesome. They're kind of...
I'm sure I would like those.
Yeah, it's like a sweet kind of meatball. It sounds a little weird, but it's really good. I think they serve that I think it's an appetizer. I'm not sure. That's really, really good, too.
And with quick service, there's nothing technically as an appetizer.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not like
it's all kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's just a side item.
What's really cool is, and again, this isn't going to come as a surprise, you can eat there. There's never a line. Kind of eat quickly, and then get in line for Trader Sam's at night because you're going to be waiting forever to get in there. Still to this day, if you try to get in there after like 7 o'clock, you have to wait. Unless you sit outside, which is nice. But
there's no point to it.
Right, like they have live music outside, which is cool. I like the guys. playing the ukulele, you're playing the guitar, singing traditional Hawaiian music. That's cool. But you're missing the whole, show
the whole
element
point.
You keep saying the whole point. There's no point.
No, the whole point of the place is definitely the indoor area and how they designed it. There's no point in sitting outside. Unless you're just obsessed with the drinks by itself, or the appetizers, which are good.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they aren't. And if you've been there enough times to see the inside, then I can see sitting outside. Sure, of course.
Right, but if you're a first timer at Trader Sam's,
then there's no point.
You gotta go in. All right.
So I think I've told you this before, but Captain Cook's is always what I recommend and what I do myself. If I ever feel like just going to the Magic Kingdom just for the last several hours of the day, before they close. I park at TTC and then I walk to the Polynesian to eat at Captain Cook's because it is a better atmosphere and a better menu than anything you find in the quick service at Magic Kingdom. So especially Casey's Corner. So,
oh, man.
So I just think it's awesome to just go there, relax, eat some good Polynesian themed food, and then hop on the monorail and then go to the Magic Kingdom. So I do that a lot, and I recommend it to people all the time.
I don't know how many times I have to actually kick you off this podcast and say you can't get back on before I actually follow through. But listen, still go to Casey's Corner. I'm looking exasperated. I'm making noises over here. Still go to Casey's Corner, but yes, go to Captain Cook's as well. Again, I really, it's a great idea to go park at TTC, take the monorail over to Transportation Ticket Center. I'm sorry, for people who don't know, who aren't Disney nerds like us. And then monorail over to Magic Kingdom. It's great. All right. So you are up, right, Chuck? Yeah, you're up.
Yeah. So I'm going to go to Animal Kingdom, and I'm going to say I don't know the official name, but it's basically the quick service version of the Yak and Yeti restaurant.
Yeah, it's Yak and Yeti Local Foods Cafe.
Okay. I actually went there just a couple days ago, and again, that's also like my go-to. I'm usually rarely anymore in the mood for just a plain, theme park made hamburger and French fries. So if I go there, especially towards the end of the operation day, I will eat there first. I've noticed that the menu changed because now they have like a Kobe beef hamburger, and they have things that are just slightly Asian themed, but they still have the original, like the honey chicken and a couple other dishes. Their egg rolls. It is really good Asian food. Like I would say some of it's even more interesting and a little bit better than what they even have at the Lotus Blossom Cafe in the China Pavilion at Epcot. And the atmosphere is great. It's all outdoors, but it's great. There is sometimes of a line though. There are times when I've seen a pretty big line there though. But for the most part, it's perfect. I go there all the time.
Yeah, so that's one, and I think the burger, the Kobe beef burger was on the indoor menu. I'm not sure if they pared it down. I'm sure they did because the indoor one it's like a $20-some cheeseburger.
It is. I did notice. I haven't ordered it yet, but I did notice it is more expensive than. It's certainly more expensive than a regular burger and fries that you get at the other quick service restaurants. So I think it's like $14 or $15 as opposed to $10 or $11 or $12.
Yeah, and the one inside is like 20-something plus.
Right, I'm sure it's pricey, larger and fancier.
I've had the one inside. I haven't had the quick service one, and it's really, really good. And I think the kind of the hallmark and the sign that it's a good cheeseburger or a good hamburger is that they're making you pay that much for it. Like, they're not going to get away with it if it's not good because people aren't going to buy it, but they still are buying it. So it's a good place. I like your pick. I usually walk right past it because my kids will not eat anything that doesn't have, chicken.
I have hope for your kids. I'm thinking they might be like me, and then once they're in their early 30s, they will suddenly start going to every weird restaurant in the city and just completely look down on you if you're still just eating plain comfort food.
No, I'll eat like the Asian inspired foods. I'm cool with that. I just don't eat, look, when you start talking about Mediterranean style, like it took me forever to try Greek food. I was terrified. And we went to a Greek restaurant with my sister-in-law and they were like, you just got to try it. And I'm like, nah, what do they have? Like, what kind of sandwiches did they have on this menu? But they did, to their credit, they were very patient with me. They brought out some Greek things for me to try, and I actually ended up really, really liking it. So,
The fact that you use the word terrified in these conversations terrifies me.
Dude, I am not an adventurous eater. I'll eat sushi though. I'll go. That's scary for a lot of people.
Yeah, I never in a million years did I ever think I would ever eat sushi. Now I eat it all the time,
yeah,
and
really
the weirder and the rawer, the better. I do anything that they come up with.
Oh, one thing I can't do is the raw scallop. Oh, that freaked me out.
Oh, I don't think I've ever had a raw scallop.
Yeah, don't eat that.
Huh. No, I mean I will try it. But
that's a weird thing. I don't know. It's a weird consistency, and I got it from a sushi place near me. In the suburbs of the mean streets of Philadelphia, and I couldn't stomach it. I took one bite and I was like, oh, and I didn't have sushi for like a month or two because it you know how like you get a consistency and you can't get it out of your head. It was like that where I just like I love like any kind of salmon, any kind of tuna raw. I could do that no problem, but the scallop weirded me out after I tried.
All right, then no scallop for you.
All right. So wait, where were you? We were at
your turn. That was Animal Kingdom. I said
and this is your fourth
Yak and
pick?
Yeti.
I think that was your fourth.
Yes, I think it was fourth.
Okay, so I'm going to stay in Animal Kingdom because I had to pick over there anyway.
Oh, let me guess what you're about to say. No, okay, go ahead.
I'm not going to say Pizza Fari if that's what I was going to say.
No, I know you. Pizza Fari is not exciting enough. No.
You know where I'm going. We can say it together. It's Flame Tree Barbecue.
Yes.
But listen, Chuck, you have to admit it's a great place to go.
No, I love Flame Tree Barbecue. No, and it's always and there's a reason why it's always crowded.
Yeah.
Also because the location. I mean, everybody passes by it. So.
And the other thing is you can't. Here's the one thing about Flame Tree, which I love it. I love the food. I think it's excellent. Don't go there in the summer. I am sorry, you just can't eat there in the summer because it's too hot. There's no indoor seating. It's all outside. And I think I said this on a podcast before. If you get your ribs, chicken, pulled pork sampler, it stays just as hot like an hour later after they take it off the grill because it's that hot at Animal Kingdom. But if you go and it's under 90, I think it's tolerable. When you get up over 90 with the 100% humidity, it's rough. But
yeah, I don't think your advice goes anywhere because I definitely have seen at 12 o'clock on an August day a humongous line at Flame Tree Barbecue.
No, it's packed. It's always packed in there. You're right.
Yeah,
just
and they did expand the seating, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right. And it was closed for a while. A year or so ago, I went.
Yeah, it was closed for. Yeah. It was one of the first things that I guess they kind of redid to get ready for everything that's about to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a popular location. They had to. What's really cool is I had. And I'm going to mention this because I don't remember the guy's name and the cast member's name, and I kind of feel bad. But I went with Amy and my kids and our kids, not mine, they're hers too. And we got the sampler, right? So they call it the ultimate Flame Tree Barbecue platter. It's smoked ribs, chicken, pulled pork with baked beans, coleslaw, and jalapeno cornbread. And we got it, and the guy behind the counter, the cast member, said, listen, if you want more of anything, and this isn't advertised at all, and I don't think he's supposed to do this, but he said, if you want more of anything, come back and tell me if you'd like something, and I'll get it for you. I'll get you a little more. And I was like, really? And we did. We went back to him, and he gave us more pulled pork for free. And I said to Amy, I probably shouldn't be saying this because people are going to go ask for it now. But it was so nice of the guy. I'm sure they have, frontline cast members have a certain amount of things they can do for the guest.
Yeah, empowerment for little things here and there.
Yeah, they're allowed to fix little problems. And what she said was she didn't know if we would like everything. And he was like, if you'd like something, just come back and tell me. So it was really nice of him. But anyway, they also have, if you don't want that stuff, they also have turkey. They have like a watermelon salad. They have a full rack of ribs if you want that. They have a half rack of ribs with chicken. So it's awesome.
I actually like their turkey sandwich that comes on sunflower bread, which now I'm obsessed with. And when I go to Publix, the grocery store, I actually buy loaves of sunflower bread.
And really? I've never had sunflower bread.
I know. I had never heard of it until I ate the sandwich there a few times in a row, and then I realized if you go early enough, the Publix bakery does have loaves of sunflower bread in the morning. They're usually out, but later.
You know what's funny about that is I really like sourdough bread, and
yes,
the supermarket is around the corner from our house. You have to go first thing in the morning to get it, because if you don't go early, it's gone. Like forget it. Yeah. Then you're getting the big company white bread, wheat bread, or whole grain. You're not getting the fresh bakery stuff.
No.
So good tip, Chuck, not just for people going to Disney, but for people who are going to the
people
supermarket.
Going to their local grocery store today.
When you're listening to this in your car or on the treadmill, go tomorrow morning, first thing, and you'll get the freshest bread. All right. But don't skip Flame Tree Barbecue. Even though Chuck knows how predictable I am, it's still a great place. And they do not, as far as I can tell, have the power packs for kids there, but they do have the hot dogs. So I know, Chuck, again, you're very excited about the hot dogs that they sell. So, all right, Chuck, you're up for your last one. Make it a good one. And if you have any honorable mentions, of course, let us know.
Right, of course. Actually, I'm going to end with a good one, and I'm going to go full circle because I'm going to go back to, because you started with my cheese phobia. So my favorite place at Disney Springs is Blaze Pizza, and that's because, of course, I have them make it without cheese. And I think it's absolutely my favorite kind of pizza. I think it's delicious. I cannot believe that it's only like $10.65. Although I think they might have raised it just a little bit. But and one pizza is definitely enough for a person, and it's unlimited toppings. So I have them throw on a million different things and a sauce. Whenever I go past the person who's in charge of the cheese, because it is like an assembly line, they always, when I say no cheese, are like, they sometimes make a little face or something, but that's okay. And then I just go right down the assembly line, and I have them throw in everything else that's there in the counter, and I love it. And I know Blaze Pizza is just a chain, so I know they're expanding. There's actually one on the east side of Orlando that opened now by the UCF campus. So some of your listeners might actually have a Blaze Pizza where they live. So that's my go-to place for Disney Springs if we're there dinner time and don't have much time and couldn't get a table service restaurant.
A couple things. One, I love that you said it's enough for a person as opposed to I don't know what else you're bringing to Blaze
Well,
Pizza.
personal pan-sized pizzas. I certainly have had that in multiple different types of restaurants. And a couple places might make them too small, so you're still hungry afterwards. I'm just saying. I definitely have experienced that.
No, I have too. And one place, this didn't make my list, so I wanted, and this is completely off the beaten path, but the one place that makes an awesome pizza on Disney property, but they call it a flatbread, is at Saratoga Springs. What is the name of the? I can't even remember the name because it was on my list. The quick service counter service place in there.
I have no idea.
It's like It's not Animator's Palette, but it's something like that.
No.
Artist Palette, I think. It's something like that.
No, Artist Palette used to be the sit down restaurant. No,
that's Surf Club, right? I think Artist Palette is still the.
No, I was thinking back when it used to be the Disney Institute.
I'm still. You know what? Hang on, I'm looking it up. Hold on a second. I may edit this out. Tell a story, Chuck, while I'm looking this up.
Tell
Make it
a
interesting.
Story. Although I was going to say, the pizza at Rizzo's, it is too small. I feel like it does come with a side salad. Unfortunately, it's a side salad that's already pre-made and it has Parmesan dressing on it. So of course I will never ever eat it. But that pizza, for example, that personal pan pizza is too small. So I'm still hungry after that.
Yeah. What's funny is now I found it, and it actually is the Artist Palette. I was right.
Oh, okay.
See, Chuck, you gotta stick with me, man. I know this stuff. But they make a cheeseburger flatbread. Okay, I'm going to explain. Have you had this, Chuck?
No, I don't do the flatbreads because
right,
I do find them to be too cheesy as opposed to actual thick crust pizzas.
Okay.
Yes.
So this has, prepare to be grossed out because it sounds gross. But I'm going to tell you something after. It has ground beef with onions. It's pickles, American cheese, lettuce, tomato, with mayonnaise, ketchup, and mustard on a flatbread. That sounds not very good, right?
Well, no, because it's exactly what would be on a regular hamburger, so why not?
Right, but it's like on a pizza dough. So
yeah,
we were checking into Saratoga Springs, Amy and the kids and I, a couple years ago, and the cast member was like, "Have you ever been here before?" And we were like, "No, we never stayed here." It was, we were DVC members. It was our first time staying there, and he said, "Okay, when you go to Artist Palette, get the cheeseburger flatbread." And I said, I looked that up. It looks really weird. And he's like, I'm telling you, you won't regret it. So I didn't get it like the whole week. And our last day, the kids were tired. So we were going to go to a park for dinner, but we didn't. We ended up staying in our room and then walking over to Disney Springs afterward. But I said, I remember I was down in the restaurant. I called Amy and I said, do you want to try this cheeseburger flatbread? She said, yeah, just get one and get one regular flatbread and we'll split them because it might be gross. I was like, all right. So I got it, Chuck. We flipped out. It was so good. It was like the best thing I had eaten all trip. So again, this is an honorable mention, and I'm sorry, I'm just kind of taking away from yours, but it's awesome. I don't know what makes it so good, but we freaked out. We loved it. And then on our next trip, we got it like 4 times. So yeah, so the cheeseburger flatbread at Artist Palette, Saratoga Springs is awesome. And I completely forget where you were. Oh, Blaze Pizza.
I said what I was going to say. Yep.
I haven't gotten a chance to go because
I thought that was one of the places that you still haven't actually tried. Yes.
Yeah. So
did you try D Burger?
No, both of those.
Oh, I thought you had done at least one.
I know. So I'm coming down in 11 days, and I have my nights free. I'm doing training during the day, but my nights are free. So we'll have to. We were talking about this before we hit record. We'll have to meet up at one of those. Or both. We could do both. Why can't we do both in one night? I'll bring my portable recorder. We can record a little a podcast from there.
That's not a bad idea.
Like a live dining review of the two. They're quick.
That's not a bad idea.
All right, we're doing it. Looking forward to it. Listeners, hold me to it. Hold me to it. All right. So my last one, I'm going to kind of go out with a bang, and I'm going over. It's not in a park. So you can get there even if you don't have park tickets. It is at Disney's Contemporary Resort, and it is the Contempo Cafe. And you're saying to yourself, Chuck, right now I know, what is so special about the Contempo Cafe?
I actually have eaten there.
Right.
A few times.
Right. And?
Well, I mean, I there's nothing there that really excites me. I think I go there more because if I'm in the mood to take a break from the Magic Kingdom, and it's just an excuse to be able to get some food that's different than what they sell at Casey's Corner, and then of course maybe walk around the Contemporary or maybe even sit out and get some sun or something.
And this is Chuck's last. I'm sorry. I was writing myself a note for later.
Yes, I'm sure.
So here's why I go. We stay at Bay Lake Tower. It's one of our, we have a couple home resorts for DVC. We stay at Bay Lake Tower a lot. We love it. We got to stay at Bay Lake Tower in January or February. I forget which trip it was. And watch Wishes from the balcony of our theme park view room. And now I never want to stay anywhere else. I was so spoiled that night. Like we were sitting here, I remember I was putting it on Facebook Live, and it blew me away. It's so cool because they put the music in and you hear everything, and unbelievable. But the reason I go and we love Contempo Cafe, a couple of reasons. One, the food is really good, and you're going to be surprised because they have food there that you can't get anywhere else. They have the braised beef grilled cheese sandwich. They have a good burger there, fried chicken sandwich, which is really good. But my favorite thing that I get there is the Italian beef sandwich. Chuck, it's really, really good. You would have to get it without the mozzarella. Right. But it's a Chicago style Italian beef on like a baguette roll, and then they pour the au jus over it. Dude, it's awesome. Like I can see you enjoying that. Yeah, it was really good, and I didn't expect it because this was the same night that we did the Wishes from our balcony, and but it's delicious. Amy and I each got that, and the kids got their Danimal smoothies for dinner. But the coolest part about the Contempo Cafe is you sit in a little cafeteria area seating, and the entire time you're eating, a couple things. One, you're right next to Chef Mickey's, so you can see Goofy walking by every couple minutes because his hat's so high. So that's fun. And the other thing is, and you hear all the kids screaming when the characters are there. And the other thing is, the monorail is constantly zipping by you while you're eating. Like, talk about a cool, that is the Disney experience, to eat a meal with the monorail, zipping past your head. I think that's what makes it really, really cool. Unless, of course, there's a hurricane and they have to seal the Contemporary up. Don't go to Contempo Cafe during a hurricane. You won't have the same experience as I'm talking about right now. But, I mean, that's, for me, I don't know. When I was a kid, the commercials, before I ever got to Walt Disney World, the commercials for Walt Disney World always had the monorail in them, right? Always had the Contemporary where the monorail was flying through it. And sitting at Contempo Cafe, listening to the kids freaking out watching a monorail, eating my sandwich is just like so Disney to me that, yeah, and I'm getting all excited. I can't wait to get down there. You can hear it in my voice. Like I'm getting like revved up. So yeah, that's my favorite. I think it really is my favorite, especially in the resorts, counter service location in Walt Disney World.
Okay.
You're like, I'm not following that, dude. Like, what can you say? All right, I want to let you off the hook because you're kind of.
Well, there's nothing to say. I mean, obviously, I get why the nostalgic reasons, and you're right. I mean, for the first 30 years of our lives, every single image of Walt Disney World usually meant, sitting somewhere while watching the monorail zip by. I like to progress, so. So I'm like, I've seen this enough times since 1979.
Oh, see,
I'm already looking forward to the new the aerial the gondola aerial tram system. I'm looking forward to the next thing already.
You can keep your gondolas, man. I'll still be staying on the monorail line, and now I'm excited about the gondolas. I think it's going to be cool, but yeah, the monorail for me will always be like that really, and the Contemporary, because I never stayed there when I was a kid. I never got to do that. So you did, right? You were there.
Yeah, I did.
Because you were local too, and you for a while, and you got to see it as a kid. I never did. So for me, the first time I was ever even in the Contemporary was on my college program. So it was a big difference, and that was only, like 19 years ago. So it was a long time ago. But anyway,
yeah.
All right, Chuck, this is fun. I'm recording. I'm going to tell everybody because they know from following me on Facebook. I'm recording with a very sore mouth from the stupid virus that I have. And every time I laugh, which has been a lot on this episode, it hurts a lot. But thank you for doing this with me, because dude, you make me laugh, and these are a lot of fun. And I don't care. It was worth the pain.
Yeah, I didn't even think you were going to say it, because before we started recording, you told me that you wouldn't be able to talk that much. But no, you definitely talked as much as you always do.
That's not a compliment at all, I don't think. All right.
Not at all.
With that, Chuck, thanks again. We'll do
you're
it
welcome.
soon. And that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Ear to There podcast. Thank you so much again to my guest, Chuck Rodriguez. It's a lot of fun when Chuck comes on, and like I said, it was worth the pain in my mouth from laughing so much, because it was just a fun episode to record. So thank you again, Chuck, for recording with me, and thank you for listening, and as always, for listening to every episode that you listen to. I hope this week Chuck and I gave you a few ideas or a few maybe new places where you'll go for your counter service meals in Walt Disney World. And of course, this is why I didn't call it the top, I called it our favorite, because there are some awesome locations that we did leave off the list. So if you're listening right now and you're like, guys, you missed my favorite, absolute favorite counter service location in all of Walt Disney World, and it's Sunshine Seasons, or it's Cosmic Rays Starlight Cafe with Sunny Eclipse, or anything, please let me know. Just shoot me an email, respond on the Facebook page. Let me know what your favorite Walt Disney World counter service location is. So I'm looking forward to seeing your answers and seeing exactly what we missed on this episode, because I'm sure we missed a bunch. All right, so thank you so much again for listening. Just remember, there will be a new episode of the Ear to There podcast each and every Monday morning, as well as a new episode of the Ear to There podcast Walt Disney World Word of the Week each and every Wednesday morning. So until next time, thank you again for listening. Have a great week. Bye-bye.